Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Motivation. It's wonderful that you're here today. So let me start with a simple question for you. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be truly quiet, silent, and all you can hear are just the sounds in your house? Or, maybe it's a bird chirping outside the window. Or maybe you're outside, so you just hear the sounds from cars or people riding their bikes or walking by. But total silence. It's something we don't do that often. We're just caught up in the chaos of the world. And so today we're going to talk about that distraction and not thinking about what comes next, not being truly present. We're just moving from one noise to the next noise. Maybe we're involved in lots of chaos all at the same time, and that's normal, especially in a house full of kids and a family. I understand how that happens when we're surrounded by noise. The noise of full schedules or our thoughts that are just running crazy in our minds. The noise all around us. And without realizing it, we begin to lose touch with our peace. Even our ability to truly listen to others. When we're having a conversation, we might feel distracted. So that's what we're talking about today. If we haven't met before, my name is Terri Sterk. I am a wellness coach and author. I serve women like you and like me. We've been through challenging seasons in our lives, and now we're trying to heal. We're trying to find wellness, whether that's our bodies, our minds, our spirits. But that's what these videos are intended to do, is to help you nurture yourself, give you ideas for how you can find wellness. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I'm joined by someone who brings a beautiful, unique perspective to this topic of silence. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed or reactive, or just in the need of a refresh or reset, I believe this conversation will meet you right where you are. So now on the screen, you should be seeing, or shortly, you'll see Laura Ann Garris.
Hi.
Hello. I'm looking at Facebook. It's a few seconds behind us. Laura Ann is a life refresh coach, and she has a community she's built on the school platform, and so I'll provide those links to you too. But Laura Ann is here today to share her stories with us about silence. So to begin, I'd love to just start out with a question for you, Laura Ann.
Oh, great.
I know that you joined a retreat in India recently.
Yes.
And I was so excited for you and what you learned while you were there. So tell us about your experience learning about noble silence.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Terri. And it is so good to be here with your community and to talk about this. I had an opportunity in January for my 58th birthday to travel to India, a place I have always thought, oh, that would be so lovely to go and experience. So different from my life here in Seattle, Washington, where I live. So I flew what seemed like forever, almost 2 days, and I landed in Bangalore, India, for a wellness retreat for a week, for 5 days. And the main morning portion was something called noble silence. Noble silence. I thought, what in the world is that? I don't know about you, but I love to talk. I love to talk to my friends, to my husband, to my kids, to my dogs, to my cat, to my neighbors. I love to talk. And the exercise was, when you wake up, you just remain in silence. You do not speak. You come down. And this was at 6:30 in the morning on the retreat. We would then go and do Qigong, all in silence. We would do yoga. We would do that in silence. We would see people. We could smile. We could wave. We would just, or a head nod of that. We would eat. We ate in silence. We could smile. And at first I thought, what is this? Are they taking this away from me? I want to connect with people in the retreat. And as I went on, we did this until noon, till lunchtime. And that was in a retreat. That was not, real life, day-to-day living how I am now. But all of a sudden, I felt this spaciousness come over me. My monkey mind seemed to just still. I was noticing the wind on my face because we were outside. I really noticed the birds flying or the little rabbit going across. I was very intentional when someone walked by and we had eye contact. Yes, eye contact, not just looking at the phones and scurrying by. And every time I had eye contact with another retreat member, my heart felt fuller. I felt open. I felt, yeah, this is good. And the noble silence, it was about not speaking, not explaining, and not reacting. And when I took that away from my morning routine, I was really energized in the afternoon. I had this extra kind of willpower, this excitement in me to share, to be more joyous. It was like my batteries had somehow gotten full and I was ready to be more present with everyone and everything around me. This retreat was lovely. It taught us how to move our bodies differently, how to eat in the Ayurvedic way to minimize inflammation in your body, how to have mindfulness training, and just really be still. And more importantly, I connected with people all over the world that I would have never been able to reach here in Seattle, Washington. So I was really glad about that. With noble silence, I found out that silence, when you have this intention to be quiet, it doesn't make you less powerful. It actually requires a higher level of presence. Yeah, let that sink in. Silence doesn't make you less powerful. It actually requires a higher level of presence. So now back here in Seattle, when I get up, I have a little bit of a different schedule. I have to get up early because my son, who lives with us and works at Boeing, works the third shift. And the only time I get to talk to him is when he arrives home at 6:30 a.m. So I make sure I get up and I open the window, I sit, I do breathing exercises. Breathing in, breathing out, trying to not judge what is. Regulating my nervous system. I will take an inspiration book. You could take the Bible, reading that, savoring that, having that time, going deep. Perhaps you want to take that time and go for a walk. I have several dogs, and after my short talk with my son, I usually take my dogs for the walk, and I kind of pick up my noble silence. I have a little speed bump there that I do end up talking in real time. And then I try to always have about an hour and a half that I don't have to talk. And it fuels me in such a wonderful way. Some mornings are crazy. Things are going on. We just got a new puppy, and my husband and I for 1 week, we were talking all the time. I really did not get any noble silence at all, but that's life, right? It happens. So it is a method to work and strengthen your presence training, helping your nervous system be calm for longer so it can go back to that calm space quicker and not stay in high adrenal mode all the time. There's another metaphor, and I love using those. I recently heard about a rock climber who was rated what's called 5'11", which is like an expert level rock climber. And I think it goes up to 5'13" or 5'14" is one of the top you can get in rock climbing. And this gentleman had climbed the face, El Capitan, and Yosemite. And when you get to the level 5'11", it's like an expert level. And you just can't rely on strength anymore. It's not about pure force. Instead, you have to move with awareness, with intention, and trust that your body will do it. And I think noble silence, the longer we can do it each day, we are working on that expert level of presence. We're able to let our heart lead, to hear those little things, to hear those God whispers that come, to hold that prayer moment longer. When I was out this morning, I often take a word and just kind of hold that in my heart as I'm walking along. And today was spaciousness. And as the spring is coming, I found myself a little in awe of the flowers that were blooming out just in the most unique places. Like, how can that plant even be there? And it's blooming and it's thriving. How does it have enough space to do that? And I was looking at the birds. We had some crows making nests, and I was able to stop and look at what type of grasses and straw were they having in their beak. And it just took a moment of savoring God's creation that is just so beautiful, and all these little moments. Can we be present for these little moments that make up this incredible, beautiful creation that we have all around us? And it resets us to, I think, God's higher truth. Another thing I did this morning in my noble silence is one of my inspiration books is Bob Goff. He's a Christian inspirational writer. Maybe you've heard of him. And he wrote this story of the parachuter who you can either go one of two ways. You can do with a guide and, let them do the work, or you can do it solo. And you always have your main parachute and your backup. And sometimes your first parachute goes up, but you have a string across it and it doesn't work. And you have to have the courage enough to cut it free flow for a while, and then hit your backup so it works. And so many times in life, the noise in our mind, it's just too much. It's like that first parachute. It's caught, it's trapped. We don't have the clarity. We can't feel or sense God's will for our life or the next direction. It's that God's with us. We've got that backup parachute, and we are going forth. And as I was reading that this morning, and he was quoting from Romans 7, 6 through 8, and it just really touched my heart, and I just sat with it all morning. And again, with the noble silence, there's no explaining or reasoning. It's just letting it do its marinating work in me this morning. And so I was so excited to come here and be on this podcast with Terri and to do that. And I would really encourage you, if you can't do it in the morning, take 1 hour. Don't explain yourself. Don't fill the silence. Don't rush to respond. Just simply notice what arises, what softens, and what becomes clear to you.
That's wonderful, Laura Ann. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with Noble Silence.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How do you think silence creates space for emotional healing? I mean, the women you're talking to have been through lots of traumatic situations, whether it's cancer or family estrangement, or it's loss, deep loss. So we're all healing from something.
Yes.
So how does silence help us heal?
You know, I think the tools, and this one in particular, it gets us out of our head. And our head is the first thing that can just trigger us down some roads or thoughts that just maybe are not healthy. Whether they're true or not is kind of irrelevant. But it's when we stay in the heart, when we can feel God's love. And maybe it's just 1 degree more than we felt yesterday. Maybe it's 2 degrees. Maybe it's like, I'm really feeling love. And that's where the transformation comes. The healing doesn't come from thinking it. It comes from feeling it. It comes from opening our senses, seeing, you know, as we said, how God takes care of, like, even the birds in the air and the nest they make, and the beautiful trees that go, you know, he loved us so much. There is healing, and I want to be a part of that healing and not the lack that's in the mind. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, for me, sitting with something, you know, I have an elderly mother who I've had to care for, who's had a lot of difficult situations, and she's not in the same town, and there's been traveling and dealing with family things, and just sitting that and waiting for, asking God, being proactive for God, you know, help me with this, let me do this. And as I surrender into that, all of a sudden, I'll get the quick idea. I'll get the aha moment that I knew. I'll get I should contact this person. It's that surrender and leading with the heart that is going to lead the healing.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I agree. Just spending time in silence definitely helps us find clarity, especially if you have a problem and you're just, you know, maybe you rolled around all night long with that problem in your head.
Yeah.
And then you get up in the morning and it's still there. So it's a good good practice to just sit in silence. It'll help you find clarity to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So
I like,
often the best ideas come out of silence.
yes. Yeah, I love the idea that you don't lose your voice in silence, you refine it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to write that one
So,
down.
I just encourage everybody, take the time you can. And if, you've got little kids around and you're busy and this, can you wake up 15 minutes earlier just for you and God in silence?
So as we finish this video today, as we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a simple invitation. Take a moment today after this call, just a few minutes, and step into some silence and just see what it does for you. Does it help bring you some peace or clarity? Something that's on your mind, something you're worried about? Just take a few minutes. And as Laura Ann said, try to find this a daily practice, whether it's 15 minutes in the morning. As the weather is improving, we can get out early for a short walk. We're not trying to fix anything, not trying to figure everything out. We're simply trying to be silent so that we can allow our minds to rest. And for me, I know it's so helpful, like I said, to help you solve problems. It's not an empty space. It just is a way of finding clarity in our brain, in our minds. So as we start to notice what we've been carrying and what we need to surrender and just let go, what we've been avoiding, or maybe what we are ready to release instead of worrying about it, that's where silence can come in. And it's a tool for you to help you gain clarity. I keep using that word, but it's really true. So as you move through the rest of your day, see if you can carry just a little bit more quiet with you, more silence. If you go on a walk, don't put your earbuds in. Just remain open to the sounds that are around you. That's silence. It's you being silent while you listen to the rest of the world. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I haven't seen any yet. But I'll also include Laura Ann's contact information, so you can always reach out to her. Thank you, Laura Ann. It's been wonderful to have you join us.
Thank you. It's been wonderful.
So I'll get this video posted in the group so that replays are available if you want to listen to it again.
Okay.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And as always, I'm cheering you on. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.